Actually, Mayor, can I ask you and the Minister a question? There's obviously been a lot of confusion, controversy over who's actually organising or who runs the Conference of Black Mayors. And last month, you were quoted as saying that basically we need to find out more information about who we're dealing with and what exactly is going on. And just now the Minister talked about due diligence. What due diligence have you done to establish who is behind the corporation? Sorry.
Yes. Without going into exact detail of some of the issues that were raised in your article based on the Georgia judgment, basically had to be addressed, and we got the information from the CBM, and we were comfortable in understanding exactly what we were dealing with, and we decided basically on that information we could move ahead, and we were comfortable to go to the Minister with that information and share it. And we're happy with everything we've learned. And I think from the point of view of where media was searching in certain areas, the answers came to us as being quite evident that it was only one side of the story. And we're happy to basically support this particular initiative based on the facts that we went through things very carefully with the Minister and provided the information directly from the CBM to the Minister and had discussions for clarification, why the name confusion, things like that, because the NCBM is basically a while ago had decided that it was outreach. I think it's being shown just by what they did down in South America that it's becoming a international organization, not just a national organization. And their outreach is to the world now, not just in America.
But did you, doing your due diligence, you said you spoke to the CBM. Did you speak to the NCBM? Because they are two separate organizations, aren't they? There's the NCBM, which was set up 40 years ago, and then you have the CBM, which is a splinter group, and there's controversy over who's behind the CBM.
Yes, let me answer you, Mr. Finnegan.
Can I just finish the question?
So
did you speak to the NCBM? Because obviously they've expressed concerns that this CBM has nothing to do with the NCBM.
I think one thing I should let you know is that Mayor Johnson is no longer a part of the NCBM. He gave his letter of resignation, I believe, in May, earlier May, and from the point of view of being a split organization, it actually is an organization of both bodies. But I will let the deputy.
So you're saying that the NCBM and the CBM are one and the same?
I will let the deputy clarify.
Mr. Finnegan, I like your question. Let me put to bed this right now and forever. The NCBM in 2011 passed a resolution that on their 40th year of operating as the NCBM, they will relinquish the name national, and they will pick up Conference of Black Mayors. That was passed through a resolution. We've supplied the documents to the Minister, and he's assured us that that is what it is, and that's what we produced. Now, there's no confusion over the NCBM and the CBM, not at all. The NCBM has now come back to the Mayor, Michael Blunt, who sits on both the NCBM and also the CBM. So it may sound like a joke to you, but it's for real. That's what it is. Now, based upon Kevin Johnson, the former mayor, the former president of the NCBM, who was relinquished of his duties 2 months after being in office, he has now gone on to become the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And he has given up that position as president. So he has nothing to do with the NCBM. The NCBM, as I said a moment ago, is now in the hands of the mayor of the CBM, which is the Honorable Michael Blunt.
But you said that it was basically a name change. They've given up the NCBM and they've changed their name because it was becoming more global.
Well, actually, sir, this is the way it's going to go. When they convene their annual meeting here in Bermuda at the conference, that's when it's going to be ratified. Okay? Follow me?
Well, no, I don't. I mean, I'm totally puzzled because we have two separate organizations. The CBM was set up by Vanessa Williams last year. The NCBM is still in existence.
Let me put this to bed. I'm going to try to put you to rest, okay? Miss Vanessa Williams while she was in court, and this is for you so you can rest assured this is not no fly-by-night organization. When Ms. Vanessa Williams was in court, Supreme Court last year, someone purported to be Vanessa Williams registered a company called the Conference for Black Mayors, which was a bogus company. And when they signed her name, they signed Vanessa, out the whole name Vanessa. She doesn't sign her name like that. She signs her name V. Williams. So let's just move past this because I think we're beyond this.
But you've just confused the issue because what you've said is that the Conference for Black Mayors is a bogus organisation and that was set up.
I didn't say that.
That was set up.
This is probably appropriate to address.
Yes, please, because, you know.
You just said that the CBM is a bogus that was fraudulently set up, and yet you're now saying that this conference is for the CBM, not the NCBM.
You'll get an answer. What I don't want to see today is this new conference collapse into anarchy.
Yes.
There has been much doubt that's been placed on these organizations. And when I've asked for comments in the past to comment on this event, my position and the ministry's position has been, until we are satisfied with the information that we have received, we will not be in a position to approve any variants under the financial instructions that were put in place in January, which you may recall is one of the reasons that the corporation has been in a position where they have to come and seek that extra variant. If I may, I'm just going to run through the budget issue as to how this has worked, because I think that's going to be important. The Corporation of Hamilton approved a budget, which I also approved through the financial instructions, where a $100,000 amount was placed for the Black Mayors Conference for a staging fee, some of which has been spent and some has not been spent. The Corporation of Hamilton has requested a further sum of money to be given to assist in bookings and reserving places for the conference. What we have agreed is that we will ensure that variants are provided for the minimum sums that are required in the event that there's a cancellation or in the event something comes to light, quite frankly, we are unaware of. From the information that's been provided to us, we are comfortable with the stage to proceed on that basis. It's actually quite simple on that basis. So, again, we're confident from the information that we received thus far, notwithstanding what has been received from other sources that happen to be part of litigation from a one-sided point of view. They have their point of view, other sides have their point of view. But the investigations that we've undertaken to date have demonstrated that at this time, this conference looks like it can go ahead. Now, I think that the corporation and the Ministry of Home Affairs could take a different view if something happens disastrous or whatever. The main point is this, and this is what I've been assured by the corporation, I'm comfortable with that. Not just from the elected officials, but from the technical staff, who are those organizing this behind the scenes, with the deputy mayor as chairman of the organizing committee. That the monies that will be spent in Bermuda. And again, if things are not looking the way they need to go, then those things can fall to the side. But at the moment, we are comfortable with the information that has been received. And I think it would be dangerous to start putting things in context to say that some people have acted inappropriately. There are ongoing issues that continue to go on in the United States. And that doesn't take away from, at all, what the conference is trying to achieve. And I think that's really what this is about. If things don't go the right way, then we'll eat humble pie and we'll say, okay, a mistake was made. But at the moment, it looks like we're in an okay position to proceed. I think it would be, I think it's well known that if I'm dissatisfied with it, I would not have approved it. I would not have actually said that this particular variant is payable. That the corporation is only exposed, when you look at it, to some monies. It's not a huge amount. The intent from the corporation, from my inquiries, is to ensure that there is sponsorship that is made available to help sponsor the event. I'm sorry if I'm taking the fire.
No, you're not taking it. You go right ahead, Mr. Minister.
That the sums will be sponsored as much as possible, but that is what will come. The thing is, it's almost a cart before the horse. You can't organize something and seek sponsorship if there's no one that's prepared to say, we will at least endorse it to this point. So I will say this as well. It would be, to me, absurd, and maybe I may take flack for it later. It would be absurd in my mind to perpetrate some massive fraud for what really amounts to about $100,000. I find that absurd. So notwithstanding all the detail, everything that's been said in the paper is correct in respect of
what was said from one party in respect of this ongoing litigation in the United States. There's nothing wrong with that. No one's saying that what has been told is wrong. We've had to look at it. We've had to make an assessment. That's the decision. So, we can go on and on and on, and that's perfectly legitimate questions to be asked. But I've made the position clear from our point of view at the ministry in respect of what we have to do as a ministry on affairs to lend support to the corporation Hamilton and Endeavour.
So, is there another additional $50,000 that's going to be paid to the CBN?
My understanding is that there was a $100,000 staging fee, and I'm sure that the corporation can answer questions in respect of how that money has been spent. That's not for me. The budget was approved at $100,000. There is some monies, no doubt, to be spent. There's a request for further monies to be spent in terms of bookings. Hopefully sponsorship will come in on that. It's an investment that one has to make.
That's in addition to the 100,000?
That is in addition to the 100,000. The request has been made in respect of Veermans, and those are transfers from within the existing budget from other areas of the budget to help support that initiative. They're not asking for any money from the ministry. They're simply looking to reallocate monies from within the existing budget to assist in this. And as I said, it's a protective mechanism. We are approving the minimums, sums that will be required to make these bookings, and that will be held until those monies are required. It's not just the corporation going out and throwing money around and hoping everything's going to work out. That's not happening.
Thank you.
But could I ask how much money has been paid?
Just to confirm, you are endorsing this conference?
I'm endorsing it based on the information that we've seen to date, and I'm comfortable with that. And again, as I said, it's an extra protective mechanism because of the issues that have been faced to ensure that this event can be endorsed and get things running and get things on the ground. Then we have agreed to make those minimum Veerman transfers at the request of the corporation. They have followed what has been required in the financial instructions.
So how much are those transfers?
I would really like to give other press a chance to ask questions first. Okay. Any other questions?
If there's no other questions from other media, I would just ask from a corporation standpoint that I think the minister has come here today respectfully and honorably to assist the corporation in its endeavors. There are a lot of people that wouldn't like to trust the corporation, then trust the minister.
Yes.
But I think we're at a point now where if the country is going to benefit from this conference, and if the country is going to move forward in many challenges that we have, we're going to need everybody to play a role, including the Royal Gazette. And you did your piece, you created your stare, and I'm asking you now, along with the rest of the media, to let's focus on the positive aspects of this. You ran that story, right, respectfully, and now we're asking you to assist us to move forward as a country and as an organization that needs to have, assume for 1 minute that this conference can be a success. Wouldn't that be something positive for the country?
Absolutely.
So it's already been embarrassment for us as an organization to have to answer questions fielded from around the globe based on your reporting. Respectfully, one wrong. Now we're at a point, the government has stepped in with mechanisms that we all trust and believe in, and I'm just simply asking you that you respect the professionals that are doing what they have to do. The story that you're, or the angle that you're taking has already been taken. And unless there's some new angle that you're looking to bring on board that has not been yet discussed, then come on board with the rest of us and try to make this a success for Bermuda so that we can benefit from this. But the continued negative publicity is not helping us drum up the type of support we're going to need to pull this thing off successfully. And I think that's what everybody at this table is looking to do. So respectfully, I'm going to ask that we can, look at it from a more positive light.
With all due respect, I'm just trying to get the facts, and I'm curious to know. I mean, who is this contract with? Because
Mr. Finnegan, we don't want to prolong this exercise. The minister has other business, as you can imagine, and we can talk later. So
can we talk after this press conference?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
We'll talk to you. So this is peace. It's not war. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Thank you.